right, folks, I think it's time for us to reevaluate what is daring to be great in reference to when the fighter is moving up in weight and fighting that champion in that respective weight class. For example, as we all know, Shakur Stevenson just became a 4-division world champion when he defeated Teofimo Lopez in the junior welterweight division. Shakur was a lightweight champion, WBC lightweight champion, and he moved up and dared to be great. He didn't put Teofimo Lopez in a rehydration clause. There was no catch weight. So that is a legit daring to be great. But if a fighter moves up, like Shakur Stevenson has an opportunity to move up again to the 147-pound division to face the champion Ryan Garcia. If he wants to put Ryan Garcia in a rehydration clause, that's not daring to be great. Look, in the sport of boxing, we all want to see the best versus the best. But I want to see the best versus the best at their best. You know what I'm saying? So, that's not daring to be great, putting another fighter in a rehydration clause and a catch weight. That's not daring to be great. I think it's time for us to reevaluate, redefine what is daring to be great in the sport of boxing. If Shakur Stevenson is not ready to move up to 147 and challenge the 147 champion, you know, as is, then you don't got to move up. You don't got to move up. He's not ready to move to 147. And why would anyone ask the 147-pound champion to move down or maybe to a catch weight in 144 like he explained in the nightcap interview with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco? Shakur Stevenson should not make anybody fight in a catch weight, especially with his skills and talent. I know other fighters has done it in the past. We all seen it before. We seen it with the likes of Manny Pacquiao. We seen it with the likes of Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez. And that's what I'm saying. It's time for us to reevaluate what is the true daring to be great. I mean, look, we always give credit to fighters of the past, like the Four Kings and Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard and Hagler and Hearns. All these guys moved up, except for Hearns, for Hagler. All these guys moved up and they didn't put Hagler on a rehydration clause nor a catch weight. You know what I'm saying? And that's the glamour years of the sport of boxing. So look, put it this way, just recently, right? Recently, this past year, we had Terrence Bud Crawford move up literally three division weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez, and he didn't put Canelo Alvarez in a catch weight or rehydration clause. So that was a legit daring to be great. You get massive credit for it. So Shakur Stevenson, who is friends with Bud Crawford, and he has stated in the past that he's motivated by Bud Crawford. Why? If you believe in your skills and talent, because I don't think that Ryan Garcia is so far removed from the lightweight division. You know what I'm saying? He just got to the 147-pound division, so he's not a pure welterweight. And we already seen what happened to Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Why would Ryan Garcia put himself in a situation like that? You know, it's only going to hinder himself. And we don't want fighter. Boxing is already a dangerous sport. And I think that these fighters asking for another fighter, knowing how dangerous the sport is, why would another fighter ask for another fighter to be in a rehydration clause and things of that nature? Look, I love the Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. I like the storyline, but I didn't think it was fair that he will be in a catch weight and a rehydration clause at the same time. Like, what are we doing out here? We you know, we don't need fighters to kill themselves to make it to the fight and then try to survive while they're fighting. You know what I'm saying? Again, boxing is already a dangerous sport. You spar, you fight, and risk your life in preparation in training to fight. And then there's another fight. Then you got to cut weight. That's another fight. Dehydration is a very dangerous thing. And then you got to step inside the ring come fight night. So in boxing, you literally sacrificing your life 3 times. You're really putting a lot of risk on your health 3 times, literally. So look, I don't want a Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia if it's going to be in a catch weight. I think they're young enough. They're in the prime. You don't need to... I mean, look, there's a lot of fights. There's a lot of matches to be made. Shakur Stevenson versus Lamar Roach is good. If we're going to see Gervonta Tank Davis having a rematch versus Pitbull Cruz and they're in negotiations. So that's a good fight. Shakur Stevenson, Muradaya. You know, that's a good that's a good fight as well. If he wants to move back to 135, if you want to stay in the 140-pound division, there's some great fights at 140 as well. Like he could still fight the likes of Gary Antoine Russell, who called him out after his last fight. You know, that's a good fight right there. So I think that, you know, Ryan Garcia should stay at 147. He looked great at 147. He looked great healthy. Let Ryan Garcia fight the likes of, you know, wait for the unification bout with Devin Haney. Talks or report has it that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is due to fight September 5th. But probably there's going to be an interim fight in which Rolly Romero also on Nightcap explained that there's a contract. They're negotiating, him and Devin Haney, to fight on the PBC card, Amazon Prime, as an interim fight. So we'll see. Hopefully that Rolly Romero doesn't throw a monkey wrench on the rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. He already threw a monkey wrench in Times Square when he beat Ryan Garcia. So let's see what's gonna happen. Again, what y'all feel about the daring to be great? Daring to be great is not to put a fighter in a disadvantage before the fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of fighters trying to win the fight before the fight. So I think it's time for us to redefine daring to be great. You know what I'm saying? If Terrence Crawford could do it, you know, a lot of fighters in the past, and I think that's why a lot of fans, you know, nowadays don't give the ultimate respect for fighters, because we see the diva-like in fighters. Boxing is the most documented sport. Like, you know, we seen greatness already. You know, we seen the true definition of daring to be great. You know, look, if you want to translate this in, let's say, in basketball term, Shaquille O'Neal was the biggest center at his time, the strongest. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell Patrick Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon ain't tell, hey, yo, you know what, Shaq, to make this fair, you gotta shoot the three. You just can't be dunking because you too big. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. You feel me? Like, nah. You want to dare to be great, you gotta beat that great fighter as is. Let me know what y'all feel, man. Subscribe to the channel. This is Punch Drunk Boxing. Y'all already know God first, everything second. Fight plus survive equals true champions. The best investment you can have in your life is have God in your heart. You know what I'm saying? Peace out.